current or retired military, also reserves. If you're in the reserves, you are eligible. We have to check the guidelines, but literally you have access to 100% financing based upon your eligibility. The interest rates are phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal with a VA. The one thing I love about VA clients, it's actually, to me, Gary, it's the selling point even before the deal, is that you can actually get into a VA loan now, and then if rates drop within the next 6 months to a year or whenever they drop, you can actually refinance that loan without having an appraisal. And they say, really?
More income.
Say, no money out of pocket. And they're like, wow, I have a guy right now, this is his second one. And he's like, man, I just did a rate and term a couple of years ago. And now he's like, what are the rates now? And I went over it, and he's like, I still have no money out of pocket. I was like, as long as you're a veteran, and I don't think that's going to change. So VAs are great, great products. They have excellent, the loan limits are phenomenal. I want Gary to talk about that, where you can literally now, you can do some really high level financing with a VA loan, which I think a lot of consumers are not aware of that, particularly in this kind of environment where, let's just be honest, we're dealing, the DMV area, this is an anomaly for most of the country. The only other place I can think about is maybe San Francisco or New York, and I'm a New Yorker, to where the prices we have for like your average sales price being in the 4s and 5s, we kind of blink at it and don't pay any other attention to it. The average sales price in the United States is anywhere between $250 to $260. Mm-hmm. So when people hear about our prices here, they're like, really? But for us, it's just kind of common knowledge, and it's just the way that it is. But I want Gary to maybe talk about some of the other aspects of VA that people don't like about. I really like that high balance thing that we're seeing in the VA market now.
I think nowadays it's there is no limit to it. Right? There is no limit to it.
They took away the lending limits on VA. So yeah. So I mean, in addition to the rates and stuff, no money down and no mortgage insurance. Period. Okay. If you have more than 10% disability rating, no funding fee. Which even if you take a conventional loan 20% down, VA loan 20% down, usually the difference in the interest rate between conventional and VA, even with a funding fee, is still going to be cheaper. So VA is really awesome program. One of the biggest misconceptions that I probably hear and see is that a lot of veterans think they only can do it one time. They can only use their VA to buy a loan once. Not only can you use your VA multiple times, but you can also have multiple VA loans at a time as long as you're securing them on primary residences. And so, with loan limits going all the way up to, I'm sorry, they don't have loan limits now, but most recently, the loan limits were, most recently at like $840 some odd $1,000. I mean, at the end of the day, think about this. The VA was signing off on 800, I think it was 843 and some change, 800,000 plus. No money down, no mortgage insurance. Oh, by the way, let me sweeten the pot and give you a 4.25% interest rate. You want to pay a point? Fantastic. We'll drop it to 3.75. So, the VA, especially, if you're around military bases, the key thing is you have to be, a veteran. I believe it's served at least 2 years, and or have an honorable discharge.
Yes.
Now, in some cases, you can have other than honorable, as long as the VA signs off that, they'll back your insurance depending on the circumstances for which you departed from the military. Phenomenal program. Definitely, if you're eligible for that, highly recommended. I very rarely will point somebody and say, you need to do this program. I usually say, here are your options, here what it looks like, let me know what best works for you. If you are VA eligible, I will point blank tell you you're doing the VA loan because that is, in my opinion, and based on everything I've seen over the last 15 years, I've never seen a loan outperform a VA loan, period.
Yep.
So I can go if I'm a VA personnel, I can buy a $2 million property with no down payment. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Gary, there is not much of a income DTI ratio also on the VA loan?
No, they don't. Now, to be honest with you, I haven't gotten familiar with the VAs since they've taken away the loan limits. Most of my price points tend to be less than 600,000. So I've never had a reason to look into going higher than that. But if the VA has removed the loan limits, then in theory, you could. But my question is as a veteran,
Can you
like, let's
afford
be
it?
real. Most veterans know you don't really get paid. As a veteran, you would not be able to cover a $2 million mortgage
I
at
was just
100%
being
financing.
hypothetical.
Huh?
I was just being hypothetical.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, I guess it could be done. Practicality wise, probably not.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
gotta
I mean,
be,
I priced the 900K one out the other day, and it was a similar, exactly what you said, Gary. Former veteran, now private security industry now. So looking to use his VA, not sure what direction he wants to go, but he's looking like, hey, do I want to do a conventional or do I want to do a VA? And the VA, as you guys know, looking at these high balance